Hello everyone and welcome to a new edition of Africa Today. We're still ahead on TV International and a special episode of Africa Today as we start from the Mauritanian visit of the Foreign Minister Dr. Badr Abdelati as he headed to the Mauritanian country in Africa, and he headed a message to the Mauritanian President from President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi. Of course, the visit aims to foster the bilateral ties in various domains, economically, politically, and of course to start to deepen the ties between the two African countries. Also, the two diplomats, Foreign Minister Dr. Badr Abdelati and the Foreign Minister of Mauritania, they held talks on a top meeting, and they discussed also advancing the bilateral ties. Let's watch this report.
Minister of Foreign Affairs Badr Abdelati delivered a written message from President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi to his Mauritanian President Mohammed Ould Sheikh El Ghazouani during an official visit to Nouakchott on Tuesday. During a meeting with the Mauritanian President, Abdelati highlighted the deep-rooted historical ties between both nations. According to a foreign ministry statement, he affirmed Cairo's desire to elevate bilateral relations to the level of a strategic partnership, particularly in the economic domain. Abdelati expressed his appreciation to Mauritania for backing Egyptian candidates in international forums, including its support for Khalid al-Anani, Egypt's nominee for UNESCO Director General. He pointed to the launch of the Egypt-Mauritania Economic Forum held on the sidelines of the joint committee meetings as a catalyst for enhanced investment partnerships. He also spotlighted several joint projects in Mauritania that are expected to see significant breakthroughs through Egyptian involvement. The minister also commended President Ghazouani's leadership in promoting stability and security in the Sahel region and reaffirmed Egypt's support for Mauritania's counter-terrorism efforts, including enhanced bilateral cooperation in this domain. Mr. Abdelati briefed the Mauritanian president on Egypt's efforts to broker a ceasefire in Gaza and facilitate the entry of humanitarian aid. The statement noted that the two sides also exchanged views on a host of regional issues, including the situations in Libya, Sudan, Syria, and Lebanon. For his part, President Ghazouani lauded Egypt's pivotal role in promoting peace and stability across the region.
Well, to shed more light on that significant visit of the Foreign Minister Dr. Badr Abdelati to Mauritania, we are delighted to be joined over the phone by Her Excellency Ambassador Soad Shalaby, former Assistant Foreign Minister. Your Excellency, it's a great pleasure having you with us.
Thank you.
Well, it's a significant visit from by our Foreign Minister Dr. Badr Abdelati to Mauritania. There are really specific and strong relations between the Egyptian country and the Mauritanian. So the visit aims also to alleviate the bilateral ties into strategic partnership, and also to acquire the support of the Mauritanian country to our nominee, Dr. Khalid al-Anani, to the UNESCO. How do you find the significance of the visit?
Yes, good afternoon. I would like to highlight the relationships between Egypt and Mauritania in different fields, bilateral, strategic, and economic relations. And of course, this visit is very timely because it comes after 19 years of the inaugural session that took place in Cairo in 2006. So this is the first time that the joint commission between Egypt and Mauritania.
The Joint Committee, yes.
The Joint Committee, yes, between Egypt and Mauritania is held in March, in the presence of Badr Abdelati, the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Egypt, and the Mauritanian Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mohamed Salim Wissal Mweld al-Marzouk. So this is important because the two ministers have decided to raise the level of relations between the two countries, and of course to coordinate and to have an agreement of joint cooperation to resume the mechanics of consultation between the two countries. And Minister Abdelati had a message from President Sisi to the President of Mauritania in order to enhance the relations and to broaden the horizons of the two countries by the two respective leaders, and to meet the aspirations of the peoples of both countries.
Yeah. Well, Egypt continue and is still committed to play a pivotal role in the African continent and across the continent by deepening and strengthening the ties with Mauritania. By this, reflected of course by this important visit by Dr. Badr Abdelati. Also, how you find how we can even deepen and strengthen the economic and the trade relations with Mauritania?
Well, the committee that was held in Nouakchott yesterday, it was after many productive discussions on bilateral relations. They have signed 13 agreements and MOUs in areas including investment, labor, higher education, social affairs, fisheries,
energy,
and
technology,
aquaculture, water resources, and irrigation. So all these MOUs are mainly for capacity building, for territorial administration, and for securing civil documents like Islamic affairs and endowments, culture, media, and youth and sports. So the strengthening of the relations comes in all these MOUs, and also in the economic forum that was held also between the two countries, and between the investors and the business people from both countries who met and who signed also an important document regarding the platform that will enhance the public and private sector to be able to invest and to trade as partners between the two countries for the interests of both peoples.
Yeah. The visit also marks a step forward concerning Egypt's commitment to stabilize the African continent and to reveal peace and stability across the continent. How you believe that such a visit could even really be assured or considered as a step forward in such domain?
Yes, as you know, the strategic importance important location of Mauritania as crossroads between North and Sub-Sahara Africa, and this quantum leap in economic relations will have its effect on Mauritania, and it will also have an impact on combating terrorism and countering extremism. The two countries have decided to face the challenges in the African continent by intensifying efforts for peaceful relations.
Yeah.
And that is why they have discussed, the two ministers have discussed the problems of Libya, of Sudan, and of course they have a joint vision towards the Palestinian issue and the situation in the Gaza Strip in order to implement the ceasefire and to restore the ceasefire deal in Gaza and to ensure the delivery of humanitarian aid. So
Yeah.
it is important to have the vision of Mauritania and the friendship of Mauritanian people and government in order to have to be able to do joint projects in Africa and to consolidate the peace agreements in Africa, especially in the Sahel region, where there are where Mauritania is a member of the G5 in the Sahel.
And of course, it marks also the expansion of Egypt's strategic footprint in the Sahel region, or the Sahel region across the country as well. Your Excellency, Ambassador Soad Shalaby, former Assistant Foreign Minister, many thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
Well, now we're moving to a devastating development in the Sudanese country as the cholera's outbreak. Once again, of course, as a result of the devastating war long years ago and collapse of the healthcare system, hospitals, no food, lack of fuel, lack of humanitarian life. So let's watch this report.
Sudanese authorities said on Tuesday that a new cholera outbreak in Sudan has killed 172 people and infected more than 2,500 over the past week. Most cases were reported in Sudan's capital, Khartoum, and its twin city of Durman, but cholera was also detected in other provinces across the country. Medical NGO Doctors Without Borders, also known as Médecins Sans Frontières, or MSF, said Sudan's healthcare facilities were unable to cope with the surge of patients. According to Sudan coordinator for MSF, Joyce Baker, the cholera spike began in mid-May with MSF teams treating almost 2,000 suspected cholera cases in the past week alone. She said the scenes in treatment centers were disturbing, with many patients arriving too late to be saved. Baker added they don't know the true scale of the outbreak and the teams can only see a fraction of the full picture. She called for a united response, including water, sanitation, and hygiene programs and more treatment facilities. In March, MSF said that 92 people had died of cholera in Sudan's White Nile state, where 2,700 people had contracted the disease since late February. The WHO said that the waterborne disease is a fast-developing and highly contagious infection that causes diarrhea and leads to severe dehydration and possible death within hours when not treated. The disease is transmitted through the ingestion of contaminated food or water. This cholera outbreak is the latest crisis for Sudan after the country entered its third year of war. Sudan is also facing what the United Nations says is the world's largest humanitarian crisis, combining war atrocities, disease, famine, and lack of access to safe drinking water. At least 20,000 people have been reported killed since fighting began in 2023, though the number is likely far higher, and more than 14 million have been displaced and forced from their homes.
We really just feel so pity for the devastating crisis in Sudan, and we wish that peace and stability prevails once the continent and all the African countries. Now we are moving to Morocco, but to a totally different issue, to the festival, the annual festival of Jidor, the open-air museum of all the artists who gathered from the whole world to gather and to turn it into stunning works of art during the annual street art festival Jidor. So it's really a very interesting and fantastic festival in Morocco. They held earlier this month, and the festival brought together more than 30 arts from 8 museums that continues to inspire even after the event. Let's watch.
The Moroccan capital of Rabat was recently infused with vibrant color as artists from around the world turned its walls into stunning works of art during the annual street art festival Jidor, the Arabic word for wall. Held earlier this month, the festival brought together more than 30 artists from 8 countries, all united by a mission to integrate art into public spaces and bring creativity closer to the people. Since its launch in 2015, Jidor has transformed Rabat into a living gallery, leaving behind a legacy of over 100 murals across the city. One of the key principles of the festival is that it doesn't truly end when the murals are completed, as Jidor director Salahuddin Malouli put it. Once the festival ends, the real interaction begins between the people and the artworks. Throughout the 10-day festival, which concluded on May 18th, guided tours were organized to showcase the newly painted murals and explain the inspiration behind each piece. Artists were lifted by cherry pickers with their paints and brushes in hand, turning blank concrete walls into large-scale visual narratives. Among the participating artists was Moroccan street artist Oussama Moussa, who painted a striking mural in deep red and shades of purple. He described his work as a tribute to Rabat, the city of light, explaining that at first glance he painted letters may appear scattered, but when viewed together they form the name Rabat. With each edition, Jidor continues to blur the boundaries between contemporary art and everyday life, transforming the city itself into an open-air museum where creativity lives on long after the festival wraps up.
Well, but this interesting and fantastic open-air museum, the art of the festival of Jidor in Morocco, we come to the end of our today's episode of Africa Today. And always, for more news and updates, join us at NileInternational.net. Nile TV International is your gateway to the world. Many thanks for watching. Thank you.